Hi, welcome to Steve Chats Wrestling, hashtag SCW, the wrestling channel here on youtube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section, and I'm going to want your comments because it's Survivor Series 2016 predictions video for you right here. If you do like the video, then hit the thumb up below, give it a like, and also share the video as well. Now, I'm not giving the still visuals for this one. You're going to see my face the whole way through, but I promise a lot of good detail as well into the matches we're going to see at Survivor Series. No kickoff match that I'm aware of, so there's not going to be any prediction or even guesswork of what that could be. Maybe it could be cruiserweights in the Survivor Series traditional match, but I am not going to go into what I think could be with kickoff. I'm just going to let that see happen. We're going to go with the main card only here for predictions. So 6 matches we're going to go through. 5 of them are Raw versus SmackDown matches, so yeah, we're going to go with that. Not really much of a preview, obviously. A lot of teams have been put together and not really getting on, but anyway, go into the matches themselves, and we're going to kick off with the Cruiserweight Championship match. The Brian Kendrick defending, of course, he's a Raw guy, defending against SmackDown's Kalisto. Now, if Kalisto wins, not only does he become Cruiserweight Champion, he actually also brings the entire Cruiserweight division to SmackDown Live, which makes perfect sense with 205 Live going to be starting very shortly on Tuesday nights on the WWE Network, which will be following SmackDown, so it makes sense for the Cruiserweight division to be on the SmackDown side. Of course, we see the Cruiserweight guys at the moment kind of flitting between Raw and NXT. I think now it's going to be perfectly clear that SmackDown will get the Cruiserweight division. Personally, for me, I would have had as well if Kalisto would have lost. He'd have had to be traded to Raw, just as something that Raw could have got out of this in return. Now, you could say that the Intercontinental Title match could be where they're getting something out of it, but I'm going to say Kalisto is going to win. It makes perfect sense. The Cruiserweight title doesn't really need to be treated like a hot potato, but I think it's a righting a wrong putting the Cruiserweights. It should have never been on Raw. They should have always been on SmackDown. It made perfect sense from the start to give SmackDown the Cruiserweight division, and for me, I think the Cruiserweight title will be a good new home for SmackDown. They can have 1 match, maybe 2 on SmackDown, followed by a full hour of their program for 205 Live. So Kalisto winning the Cruiserweight Championship. Moving on next then, the Intercontinental Title match. The Miz, who was the champion defeating Dolph Ziggler last week on SmackDown, the 900th episode, will be taking on Sami Zayn of Raw. Now, of course, if Sami Zayn wins, the Intercontinental title goes to Raw. It's obviously clear here that the Miz has beaten Dolph Ziggler because they think it's probably easier for the Miz to lose to Sami Zayn. I think it's kind of clear. So Sami Zayn is going to win the Intercontinental title. That's my early prediction with that. But I'm going to make a different sort of prediction for you. I think there's going to be a little promo after this. Now, a lot of rumours that apparently even Daniel Bryan said Sami Zayn does not want to be on Raw. So I'm expecting a little promo after the match, and be, how does it feel you've brought the Intercontinental title to Raw? And Sami Zayn will be like, well, look, I've had no direction on Raw up to now. You know, my feud with Kevin Owens, and after that, I've kind of just lost direction. Raw's not really given me the opportunities that I've been looking for, but now I have that opportunity, and I've brought the Intercontinental title, but I've not brought it to Raw. I've actually been talking with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, and you will be seeing me on SmackDown Live each and every week. And I think that he will be a SmackDown signing. I think that would make perfect sense because then, obviously, you've got the rematch clauses for both The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. Perhaps a triple threat match you could see at TLC. That would be quite a likely outcome. And then SmackDown as well would have a little bit the more of the mid card. I don't see them losing the Intercontinental title. It doesn't make sense. Maybe it could be fun to see on Raw for a couple of weeks. Just maybe like Sami Zayn still not being treated well. Maybe with the Intercontinental title. But we'll have to wait and see how it's going to play out. But I think Sami Zayn will be on SmackDown. So I actually believe that although this looks like it's Raw versus SmackDown, it will be in a SmackDown match. And I think that it will be a very clever way to go going forward. I think SmackDown will have all bases covered and keep the Intercontinental title on their show. Moving on, next time we'll go for the traditional Survivor Series matches. We'll start with the women's match for Raw. We've got Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, and Alicia Fox. For SmackDown, we have got Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and Carmella. Now, for me, clearly, there's going to be dissension in the match in places, but Raw majorly has the strongest women in this division, and I expect them to come out through this. I expect Nia Jax from Raw to be disqualified or counted out somewhere, perhaps disqualified. I believe that she will not be a winner in this match. I believe it's going to be quite a clear win for Raw. I do believe that we're going to see maybe 3 of the Raw women walk away as sole survivors. I'm going to go with Charlotte, Sasha Banks, because they are 2 clear ones ahead of the game, and Bayley to be the other one. I do believe as well that we will have maybe a cool moment. I'm going to throw another one of these predictions out where Becky Lynch will be the last SmackDown competitor. Therefore, we will have the 4 horsewomen in some form of a match, kind of the closing segment of the match, just so they can play on that just a little bit. So I believe that that's how it's going to roll, and the Raw women will come out on top. Next, we'll look then at the tag team situation with the elimination. So it's 10 on 10 here. So every time a team is eliminated or a member of a team is eliminated, the whole team is gone. So it's not going to be like loads and loads of eliminations. Otherwise, this match will get messy. So we're looking at the Raw side. We've got the New Day. We've got Enzo and Kaz, Gallows and Anderson. We've got the Shining Stars. As well as that, we've got Cesaro and Sheamus. On the SmackDown side, we've got Heath Slater and Rhino. We've got the Usos, American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and Breezango. Now, quickly, Breezango, what the hell have they done with them? They seemed alright when they were doing the Ty Breeze gimmick. Now they're the Fashion Police, it's awful. It's a really, really bad gimmick, and they will be the first ones, I think, eliminated from this match. I think it's going to look kind of bad for SmackDown at the start of this match, but I think that SmackDown will go on to win this, because SmackDown can't be, since the weak competitor of Raw, it needs to stay equal the whole way through. As we've seen so far in my predictions, it's kind of been SmackDown Raw, even though Sami Zayn would end up being on SmackDown, as well as that we then see another sort of Raw victory on the women's side. I expect a SmackDown victory here with the tag team. So who is going to win? I believe at the moment, looking at it, Heath Slater and Rhino, I expect it, and perhaps potentially American Alpha. These are so difficult matches to predict, so there is a potential here that I think really can't say who's going to be the survivors, but I think I could just say a bold that SmackDown will win the match. I believe that Gallows and Anderson are going to stick to their promise, because they will look to turn on the Raw teams. They're doing this for themselves and not for Raw at all. So I expect at one point they will cost someone the match. I actually predict that the New Day will not be. If Raw do win, New Day will not win. So I predict that they will actually cost the New Day in some form or fashion, and maybe they might just walk out on the match themselves. I don't believe they'll stick around. So I expect SmackDown will win, possibly with assist from Gallows and Anderson in some form, but I don't necessarily think that means that they will trade brands at this particular moment, although I think it would be good for them to see them trade brands. I actually think it would be really cool, actually, if they tried to change brands, and also a team on SmackDown tried to defect to Raw as well. I'd like to see that happen both times, but I think if it happens too many times in the night, it's not going to feel special, and I think they will save that for the main men's match. So I don't know how much that's going to happen, but I expect SmackDown will walk away with a win on the tag team scene. Anyway, I'm going on too much with the tag teams. Let's go to the 5-on-5 men's match, which will see Kevin Owens for Raw, the Universal Champion, Chris Jericho, his best friend Seth Rollins, the United States Champion Roman Reigns, as well as that we have got Braun Strowman. To then see a SmackDown side where we've got AJ Styles, we've got Shane McMahon, which I'm not a fan of, but I've said that in previous videos, so I won't go on about that too much for you. As well as that, we've got Dean Ambrose. We're going to have on the SmackDown side of Bray Wyatt, and of course Randy Orton. So very interesting how this is going to play out. I originally was going to come on here and say all the way through SmackDown was going to win this, but the Undertaker's promo on SmackDown Live, the 900th episode, said if you don't win, expect you're going to have to be answering to me. Now the Undertaker's back on a full-time schedule. It's not a full-time schedule, but he's expected to be back on SmackDowns, maybe not all SmackDowns, but some SmackDowns and live events, like not live events, but like WWE Network of live events. So we're talking like the pay-per-views like TLC, the Royal Rumble, either Elimination Chamber or Fastlane, depending on which one SmackDown gets, and of course WrestleMania. So the Undertaker looks like he's got himself available for those sort of events. I think that the Undertaker is going to be available from the Royal Rumble onwards. I don't know if he'll be involved with TLC, but I reckon the feuds will start building for the Royal Rumble. And for the Undertaker to say that you're going to have to answer to me, I think it gives him storyline purpose if SmackDown lose. So I didn't actually believe this originally, but I think Raw is going to win. But I did think it makes more sense for SmackDown to win, because then it kind of adds the rivalry element for Shane and Stephanie going forward. And I think then, of course, that will perhaps really intense things going forward from after that. But maybe we've seen some sort of defections where it's for SmackDown. Maybe something could happen with someone defects on Raw. There has been rumours that Randy Orton could turn on Bray Wyatt in the match, and he's used this opportunity with the Wyatt family to actually turn at this point. So that could happen in the match. So I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen. But I'm going to go then with Raw, although my heart always said it was going to be SmackDown originally, and I thought that AJ Styles Styles would have been the guy walking away, but actually I believe that Raw will be the ones to do it, and I think that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are going to be the guys that probably are going to do it. I kind of feel in the back of my head that I would have liked Kevin Owens to look strong, but I've just got this feeling that one is Universal Champion, they're not going to make him look strong here, and I think that Kevin Owens is not normally renowned for someone that's been good in a team, with the exception of Chris Jericho. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But I'm going to go with Raw. They're going to walk away with the win here. Although I believe the whole way through I've said SmackDown, and I still think it makes more sense for SmackDown to do it for later down the line. But with the way Undertaker teased it, Raw is where I'll go. Last but certainly not least then, Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. Fantasy warfare turned real. Well, it's been a bit of an up and down preview with this, but of course it's righting a wrong here from WrestleMania 20. Will the match be great? I'm not 100% convinced it's going to be a great match. I'm going to be very honest with that, but I think there'll be more buzz around this match this time, and there's more excitement about it, which I think will carry it through, and I think they will definitely there will definitely be a positive rather than negative looking back at this after it's all said and done. A lot of people seem to be putting out things where they're saying that it's too predictable that Brock would win, and that's why they think Goldberg would win. I'm not going to change my theory. I think Brock Lesnar is going to win here. From what I'm aware of, he's meant to be challenging the Universal Champion at the Royal Rumble, which I believe at that point will be Roman Reigns, who will defeat Kevin Owens at the Roadblock event in December, which happens to be my birthday, by the way. But anyway, moving onwards, I believe then that would lead to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at the Rumble, and where then I think that Shane McMahon will perhaps then reignite the feud with Brock Lesnar to go to WrestleMania. Of course, remember he was F5 at SummerSlam. I think there'll be something at the Survivor Series, but I think it's going to be teased. I don't think it's going to be anything major here, because when you look at it with Raw and SmackDown, Shane McMahon's got his own stuff to worry about now, which I think is probably the one shining light here of why it does make sense Shane McMahon is in a match, because he can't focus on Brock Lesnar too much, the same as Brock cannot focus on Shane McMahon. So I think that we're pretty much going to be safe from that. But I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar to win this match. Is it a one and done deal for Goldberg? I'm on the fence of it. I do think I would like to see him in a couple more matches, but I personally feel they'd have to be the right matches if he's going to be involved. And I wouldn't want to see him take the spotlight from someone each and every week. I'm someone that believes that you need to build this new talent and really make it to the surface, because otherwise WWE's ratings are going to suffer for years and years, still more to come. So personally for me, I think it'd be good if Goldberg wasn't involved all the time, but maybe one or two matches against the right sort of people. Roman Reigns would be good, for example, but we'll have to wait and see down the line. But that's my Survivor Series predictions for you there. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed, by the way. 120 subscribers now, hit that milestone. Really, really thankful. Let's see now if we can take up a little bit further. I'll set a target, maybe if I can get to 150 at some point down the line would be really great, but of course I'll worry about just getting the 121 for now. Of course it's still early days for my channel, so thank you very much for everyone who has been supporting the channel, and people that casually watch it as well. Thank you for those people who do that, and I hope you enjoy Survivor Series. Let me know your feelings in the comments below. Love to know your predictions, and like and share the video as well. You've been watching Steve Chats Wrestling, hashtag SCW the Wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Check out SCW the Wrestling podcast now on my channel. We've got limited edition pro wrestler Danny Walsh. He's also a wrestler, a promoter and CEO of that company, so a podcast on him. Check the interview out right now, which is held by George Jones as well. So a very good interviewer, very good guest, and it's a good interview as well. Check it out right now. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've got my NXT predictions in there for you, which is on tonight as well, so check that out also. And yeah, I'll see you next time on this channel. Take care.